Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030, as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. Today is commemorated as Lori, which marks the harvest of the winter rabi crops and end of the winter solstice. The end of winter season is a joyous one in India, with Lori celebrated on January 13th annually. This date slightly changes one day before or after, and this is a special celebration, particularly in northern India, that marks the harvest of the winter rabi crops and the end of winter solstice. It celebrates the sun and the ushering of longer days. Lohri is a traditional celebration, particularly observed by northern India, and is linked to the Punjab region to mark the passing of winter solstice and welcome longer days and sun's journey to the northern hemisphere. It is typically celebrated in the states of Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and Jammu and Kashmir, and is one of the most popular festivals in northern India. Lohri is linked in different significant legends, but is typically observed a day before the Maghi festival, which is dedicated to the sun deity Surya. It is an official holiday in the northern India region and is also usually celebrated by Hindus, Sikhs, Muslims, and various other religions. In houses that have recently had a marriage of childbirth or childbirth, celebrations will reach a higher pitch of excitement. Historical references to Lohri are mentioned by European visitors to Maharaja Ranjit Singh in 1832. Further reference is made by Captain Mackinson, distributing suits of clothes and large sums of money as rewards on Lohri in 1836. The celebration of Lohri with the marking of a huge bonfire at night is also noted in the royal court in 1844. Another popular folklore links Lohri to the tale of Dula Bhati, a folk hero who supposedly came from Punjab region and led a revolt against the Mughal rule during the reign of Mughal Emperor Akbar. Dula Bhatti was regarded as a hero for rescuing Hindu girls from being forcibly taken and sold in the slave markets of the Middle East. Therefore, along with the singing and dancing around the sacred bonfires, children go around homes singing the traditional folk songs of Lohri with Dalla Bhatti's name included. After the song ends, the adults of the home are expected to give snacks and money to the singing troupe of youngsters. The folk hero, Jula Bhatti, is a born is born in the mid 16th century and dies in 1599 after a legacy of activism in 1500s. Europeans in Maharaja Ranjit Singh make reference to Lori in 1832. Captain Mackensen of Maharaja Ranjit Singh distributes suits of clothes and large sums of money as rewards on Lori Day, and the recognition of Lori increases since then in 1836. The royal court lights a huge bonfire at night to celebrate Lori, and the bonfire is lit since 1844 every year. So their Lori and Makara Sankranti are both the harvest festivals, but Lori, which celebrates the harvest of Rabi crops, happen a day before Makara Sankranti. Lori is a festival that is mostly celebrated in the northern states of India, such as Punjab, Himachal Pradesh. However, it is usually followed by other harvest festivals such as Pongal in South India and Makar Sankranti in western and southern parts of the India and also across the world. Folklore of Punjab believes that the flames of the bonfire lit on the day of Lori carry the messages and prayers of the people to the sun god to bring warmth to the planet and to help crops grow. In exchange, the sun god blesses the land and ends the day of gloom and cold. The festivities around the Lori celebration include the lighting of a sacred bonfire and can join on the celebration by lighting a fire of your own. It could be a campfire or even a mini bonfire and ease into the end of winter season. Invite friends and family to make it a wholesome celebration. Part of the Lori festivities includes singing songs. Practice your vocal skills today by looking up songs that fit celebration and practicing to sing them. It is a perfect time to visit India and celebrate with them if you have Indian relatives or friends anywhere in the world. If you don't have anyone close relatives or friends, you could always go over to local Indian neighbor or merchant and send your celebrity greetings. Historically, the revenue for winter crops used to be collected on Lori. It marks a new financial year. The day is named after the goddess Lori, the sister of Holika, who is celebrated on Holi. Lori has the shortest day and the longest night, after which every day will get longer. It is the longest night of the year. The winter crop Rabi is harvested in the days up to Lohri, and then on festival day, all those involved in the labor gather around and celebrate the harvest. In Hinduism, it is believed to celebrate the goddess Lori and goddess Agni and god Agni. In Indian culture, Lori marks the new beginning. People of India celebrate the festival with full zest and enthusiasm. And they also think that sun god for the abundance of farm harvests in the previous year. It represents new beginnings. During Lori, all grudges and issues are put aside in order to fully bask in the day's celebration. Everyone gathers around to sing and dance around the bonfires and put their troubles aside. It encourages unity. Lori festivals is also tribute to Robin Hood of Punjab, Dullah Bhatti, who used to save Punjab girls from being sold in the slave market. This symbolizes the power of activism and standing for what is right, and it's a tribute to activism. Today is also commemorated as Public Radio Broadcasting Day. On Public Radio Broadcasting Day observed, which is observed annually on January 13th, the world celebrates a very special piece of technology, the radio. The day honors those who invented the radio and devised public broadcasting. It gave a newfound appreciation for the technology and its importance in our lives. While we don't know the exact origin of this day, we know it was founded to honor the birth of Radio broadcasting. Italian inventor and electrical engineer Guglielmo Marconi proved the possibility of radio communication when he sent and received his first radio transmission in 1895. Private homes across the United Kingdom, Hungary, France, and some other places had conventional telephone lines broadcasting news like theater, music hall, fiction, readings, religious broadcast, etc. This system, called electrophone in Britain, telephone in Mondo in Hungary, and theatrophone in France. But the first sounds, voice, and music signals heard over the radio was in December 1906, when Canadian experimenter Reginald Fessenden produced about an hour of music and talk for anyone who might be listening from Brant Rock Marshalls. The next few years were marked by similar experiments, but none of them could sustain continuous services. And then in New York City in 1910, a live opera featuring some of the most renowned opera singers of that period was broadcast from the Metropolitan Opera House. This became the world's first radio broadcast. Running on for several hours, this broadcast was unfortunately not picked by many people and was even considered unsuccessful because of the poor sound quality. By the mid 20th century, every country had a broadcasting system that was in most cases run and operated by the government. By about 1945, with the invention of television, the radio and its influence transformed. It remained the most widely available electronic mass medium globally, but it faced competition from various other mediums. In the 21st century, radio broadcasts face competitive pressure from digital satellite and internet based services, but they seem to be holding their own and adapting to the listening changing needs. So, Public Radio Broadcasting Day celebrates the radio, those who helped this technology, and the teach itself. World Radio Day is held on February 13th each year. It was founded by UNESCO in 2011 during its 36th conference. The first radio system was partnered by Italian inventor Guglielmo Marconi in 1897. However, in 1943, the US Supreme Court ruled that Nikola Tesla might have been the original inventor. They made all the Marconi's radio patents invalid and awarded the patents to Tesla. In the words of Don Williams, listen to the radio, explore programs and stations to your heart content. There are many ways to do this. Pay homage to radio, learn about favorite radio personalities, read about history of radio broadcasting, or visit your local radio station to get a sneak peek behind the scenes. You can start listening to the radio drama War of the Worlds, which caused immense panic in America by making audience an alien invasion was imminent. They moved onto the events and broadcast of your choice. In 1908, while on his honeymoon, American inventor Lee D. Forrest climbed the Eiffel Tower to broadcast a selection of music to the Parisian suburbs. According to Pew Research 2017 report, radio has a consistent audio reach 90% for the past 9 years, as opposed to other mediums like newspapers and television, cable and network, which saw slight declines. In the 1980s, people were able to download video games from radio broadcasts. They simply recorded sounds on a cassette tape, then played it on their computers. Most radio broadcasts in Good Morning Vietnam were improvised by the actor himself, Robin Williams, a radio personality. The iconic French landmark would have become scrap metal 20 years after its creation, if not for its use as a radio tower. During the World War II, it would intercept critically military transmissions. So radio saved the Eiffel Tower. There are radio personalities we admire, songs we love, and new types of programs to keep our interest. Radio is the gift that keeps on going. Radio is a favorite friend. Years of experimentation and innovation by multiple pioneers took place. The least can do is celebrate one special day in their memory. Immense work went into perfecting this medium. Public radio has made our lives happier. It has given us plenty of entertainment over the years. It has also helped to make our lives more interesting. Today is also commemorated as Poetry Break Day in US. Mesopotamian epic of Gilgamesh is considered to be the first ever poem written in the West and is about 4,000 years old. Poetry Break Day is a celebration of the poet inside all of us. People celebrate this day by writing poems of their own and also reading poems written by their favorite poets. Some might say that it is the day poets take a break and people who usually don't write poems take their responsibility. However, no evidence supports this claim, but one thing we can agree on is that this day celebrates poetry. There are many poems that are claimed as being first ever written in the history, but the majority believe that the Mesopotamian epic of Gilgamesh, a poem telling the story of Noah and his ark, occupies the distinguished position in the West. The poem is supposed to be about 4,000 years old. Poetry have been found in almost all ancient civilizations, including Africa, the Indus Valley, and some civilizations in some part of the Sumer. These poems were written as hymns and songs and often depicted religious stories and sometimes fiction. In Hinduism, the Rig Veda is considered to be one of the oldest sets of poems, and it was written in 2000 BC. Later in 350 BC, Aristotle defined the genus of poetry as epic, comic, and tragic. Poetry has immensely popular. Later in 350 BC, Aristotle defined the genus of poetry as epic, comic, and tragic. Poetry became immensely popular among the people in the Middle East in the later centuries. In Europe, poetry rose to prominence, especially during the Renaissance. Poetry was something exclusive to the rich and elite of those times. Modern poetry emerged in the 19th century with poets such as Alfred Lord Tennyson and Robert Browning rising to prominence. The 20th century The 20th century saw poets like Thomas Stearns, Eliot, and Robert Frost. Poetry saw some variations with poets such as Virginia Woolf, who gave a poetry a modern touch. Poetry Break Day was created as appreciation of poetry. Poetry started celebrating this day by writing poet lines for their loved ones, or reading poems written by their favorite pets. Some dig deep into the lives of their favorite poets to find out what inspired them to write great lines they have written. So there are mainly three types of poetry. They are lyrical, narrative, and dramatic poetry. Many believe that poetry should not have restrictions and the poet should feel free to structure the poem In which way? Edgar Allan Poe, Oscar Wilde, T.S. Eliot, Percy Bysshe Shelley, John Milton are some of the most famous poets who revolutionized poetry. So, any great poem starts with an idea. An idea, thought, or feeling which you think is powerful can be base of your poem. Try different combinations of words, sentences. Let everyone know that you are celebrating this day. Share the poems you write with your friends and family and post on social media. Use the day to improve knowledge, read more about life and times of favorite persons, how life is back then, what inspired to take poetry. The fear of poetry is known as metrophobia. With over 1 lakh verses, Mahabharata is the longest known poem. Twin Simha poetry, in which poems are written in two vertical columns, can be read both vertically or horizontally, was invented in Singapore. The day allows us to bring out creative sides. It gives us a perfect opportunity to write poems and make the creative side of the poem work. This is also a day of learning. We can learn more about the lives of great poets of the past and present. It makes us appreciate the genuineness in them and provide us with a motivation to pursue our passion. It gives us a chance to improve our knowledge. It gives us a chance to do something for others, for our loved ones. When we put our love, affection, and thoughts into words, the present and present it to someone, it becomes a precious gift. Today is also commemorated as National Vision Board Day in US, which is annually celebrated on second Saturday in January. On January 13th, the year to encourage us to set our goals visually. The day seeks to help us reimagine and achieve goals in the every area of life, affecting visualizing them to life. It is based on seeing and believing in the sense of today is also commemorated as National Sticker Day. The first stickers began as stars and postage stamps in the US in the 1800s, but they have come a long way since then, and there was a variety of uses and styles today. These are political stickers, band stickers, bumper stickers. They are funny, cute, congratulatory, and animal stickers. They are especially easy, popular with children who often collect them in a sticker books, but are for everyone and every taste, regardless of the age. On January 30, unleash the inner. Today is also commemorated as National Rubber Ducky Day in US. Rubber ducky, you might be the one you make bath time lots of fun. Rubber ducky is out. I am awfully fond of you, sang Sesame Street's Emmy during the bath time. Today is also commemorated as National Peach Melba Day. It's time to enjoy a sweet treat at this National Peach Melba Day on January 13th, made and named in the honor of famous opera singer Nelly Melba. This day invites everyone to try out amazingly refreshing dessert, while the original recipe is made from peaches, raspberry sauce, and vanilla ice cream. Multiple recipes change up to ingredients to suit various tastes and create a slightly different flavor combination. Malba often ate at Mescofia restaurants when she performed at Covent Garden in 1892 or 1893, depending on the source. Melba was to perform in Wagner's opera Lohengrin at Covent Garden. She repeatedly sent Escofficer tickets to his performance while featured a boat in the shape of a swan. The next everything Escotier presented. A scoffer actually scaffolded at some variation of the original recipe believed that they ruined the delicate balance of its taste. So find the very peach melba recipe and try your hard at making it on this National Peach Melba Day. You can now create variations with endless combinations to find the blessings and balance you like the best. Today is also commemorated as National Rubber Ducky Day in US. Rubber ducky is an awfully fond of sang Sesame Street's Ernie during the bath time. The friendly puppet isn't the only fan of the bath accessories. The country celebrates the toy on National Rubber Ducky Day on January 30th. The popular toy has been seen in a lot of variations in its history. First designated in the 1800s when rubber manufacturing began, the duck was made out of plastic and vinyl during both world wars as rubber was scarce. The duck toy was first patented in 1928 by Landon Smart Lawrence, but the toy was a little heavier back then. He put a weight on it to make sure that it would always stay upright. If you have ever out in the ocean, you might just run into the rubber ducky. 2,800 rubber ducks on their way via boat to Washington went overboard during a storm in 1992. It has been sold that ducks floated from north to Arctic, got trapped in the ice, and were slowly thawed out in the Atlantic Ocean. There are thousands of still out there and often happy upon shores of all over the world. Day is also commemorated as Make Your Dream Come True Day. Dreams are the wings upon which we soar through life and make us dream come true day. On January 13th, we are fulfilling of ours. The day is celebrated to encourage every person to make their dreams come true. The ones that comes you asleep, after sleep, or in sleep, the one that gives you life a special meaning. Ancient people often believed that dreams were messages from a high power. In fact, the ancient Egyptians believed this so much that they actually induced dreams to receive more messages. They would lie on the special dream beds in the hopes that a dream would give them advice, comfort, or even healing. Ancient people even practiced dream interpretation. If records are any indication, ancient Sumerians, Babylonians, and various other cultures all kept records of religious texts featuring interpretation of various dreams. The other kind of dreams, highlighting our hopes and wishes, are sometimes called as daydreams. Although this umbrella is rather large, dictionaries mention daydreams as being fantasies of hope, dreams, and thoughts coming to life and experienced while awake. Although in our hearts, multiple famous people across the ages have created masterpieces and new ideas while daydreaming. Ambroise Paul Toussaint Jules Valery, a French poet, essayist, and philosopher, is known for the saying this phrase. The best way to make dreams come true is to wake up. The other ways to phrase dream come true or dream realized better than one's wildest dreams from the vision to reality or wish granted. While this is also depends on the kind of dream you envision, having a clearer goal, a positive mindset, a strong determination to succeed, and a little luck will definitely help you achieve your dreams. If not overnight, then in due course. Identify your dreams. Everyone has them, but the main question is what dream do you consider most important? Figure out that whether you want to climb Mount Everest, visit Kenya, or simply learn to make a dream in still a dream. Make a goal and a plan a strategy to achieve your fondest desire. Finally, you really should. There must be someone you know who has made their wishes and dreams come true. Something that motivated and inspired you. Chat with them to figure out how they made their dreams come true and draw inspiration from their stories. Nobre cleaned the premises of preparatory course for free in exchange for their help in passing Brazil's famously difficult university exam. Of course, he passed this exam with flying colors. He quit school at 15 and worked as a janitor. His talent got him noticed, and he is now one of the Hollywood's most beloved or loved actors. Dhirubhai Ambani spoke about wanting to own a Mercedes when he was a simple gas station worker. Years later, he founded one of the India's largest, biggest business empires and was the proud owner of the multiple luxury cars, including a Mercedes. J.K. Rowling, she went from being unemployed to a very famous writer and personality, all because she never gave up on her passion for writing. Kalpana Chawla took her fascination for airplanes and flying and turned into an illustrious career. She became an astronaut employed by NASA. Big, small, and everything in between. We need to dream. We need dreams and wishes to aspire to. Some dreams even inspire us and some makes our lives better. We prove something to ourselves, we owe it to ourselves to make something of our dreams instead of simply keeping it in the back of our minds. Work towards achieving yours today. We owe it to ourselves to make something of our dreams instead of simply keeping it in the back of our minds. Work towards achieving yours today. Our participation in Make Your Dream Come True Day might be just in push someone else needs to make their dreams come true too. Sometimes all it takes is a little encouragement. We encourage others to dream too. And finally, today is also commemorated as Korean American Day in the US to honor and highlight our friends from the Korean descent who have made immeasurable contributions as small business owners, military service members, faith leaders, doctors, artists, and elected officials for over a century. Ever since the first immigration wave happened the way back in 1903. It was in 1903 just over 100 Koreans first arrived in the United States. That number quickly grew, and within 2 years, a further 7,500 Korean immigrants had made the same journey. In the years they have passed, Korean American have made a valuable contribution towards the society, and it's on the Korean American Day that we honor and celebrate their contribution. There has been a lot to contribute for Korean Americans over the past century or so. Sammy Lee was a two-time Olympic gold medalist in diving. Wendy Graham served as U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission chair under Presidents Reagan and Bush. David Hune was the architect who revitalized Little Tokyo in Los Angeles, and Heinz Ward Jr. played the Pittsburgh Steelers. As well as the impact of individuals, Korean culture in general has left a sizable footprint in the US. Korean food has become incredibly popular, and going for bibimbap, bibimbap with the side of kimchi is now commonplace, as is listening to a few K-pop tunes on the drive home among the more Korean Americans. In 2005, the US Senate and House of Representatives passed the resolution to consent for what Korean American Day stands for and its aspirations. Korean American Day is now enjoyed each year on January 13, which is a perfect excuse to snack on some kimchi. So, Korean American Day is established by President George W. Bush in 2005. J. Kim is elected as a congressman to the U.S. House of Representatives for California, 41st District, the first Korean American congressman in 1992. The McCarran and Walter Act is passed, eliminating the Asian immigration ban and making Asian immigrants eligible for citizenship on June 27, 1952. The first Korean immigrants to the US arrived and permanently settled in Hawaii on January 13, 1903. So today is a great day to delve into rich and diverse history of Korean Americans. There have been plenty of success stories from Korean Americans. The inventor of the first beating heart operation for coronary artery heart disease, development of the Nectarin, a four-time Olympic gold medalist, and achievements in engineering, architecture, medicine, acting, singing, sculpture, writing, and the list goes on. The world leader in internet is Korea. 92% of the South Korea's population are internet users, and they boast the world's fastest average connection speed. Taekwondo was created in Korea. It is believed to have been invented approximately 2000 years ago. The world's first astronomical lab, Gyeongsongdae Observatory in South Korea, was built in the mid 1600s. In the West, a special browser for banks. It's a law in South Korea that online banking must be done through Internet Explorer. South Korea was one of the poorest countries on earth in 50s, but within the space of 20 years, they turned into one of the richest nations on the earth. So South Korea had the biggest economic turnover. Experiencing new cultures open your mind and is a great fun. Korean culture is rich and there is a plenty for you to explore. Go deep, learn, and have fun. It helps us reconnect with our Korean friends. If you know any Korean Americans, make an extra effort to connect with them today. Go grab a bite to eat with them or send them a message. So with this, we shall end our commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us, and happy Lohri to all of you. And we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been launched in the form of polls before leaving the platform. See you all tomorrow at the same time at 6 o'clock with the same link with different commemorations. And wishing you all happy Makar Sankranti and Harvest Festival, Farmers Festival, Food Festival, Kites Festival in the next coming 4 days.